So we're going down into the basement to check on the birds. Most of you know that I have my Harris Hawk, Belle, down here in an unfinished room in the basement, and this is Belle. Good morning, sweetie. How's my pretty girl this morning? Good morning to you. Is it early? Yeah, wiggle your tail. Ah, that's my pretty girl. That always, that just tickles me to no end. Belle, when she says, "Hi, Dad," she wags her tail. And that is just so cute. Well, good morning. I know it's a little early. We've gone on to daylight savings time, so 6 o'clock in the morning, it's still dark. Hi, sweet girl. That's my pretty Belle. And, of course, many of you recognize Helen. Pretty Helen. How you doing, sweet girl? There's my pretty Helen. How's my pretty lady? And Helen is our peregrine. You know her. Most people know her story. She came out of a captive breeding program. She's mostly blind. She can see well enough to feed herself, but she can't see well enough to fly and to hunt. And so she's just strictly our wildlife ambassador, and she travels with us and introduces people to how really stunning, beautiful a peregrine falcon is. And she's the Enoch peregrine, which is the endangered species one. And so spends her whole life in captivity, but she gets lots and lots of enrichment. She gets to travel and see people, but she also gets to come upstairs and hang out with the family, and she likes to watch TV because of her very poor vision. The lights and movements on the television kind of fascinate her. How pretty Helen you are. And so these are two of our wildlife ambassadors, and of course Scout the Golden Eagle, he's outside. He's too big to have in the house, unfortunately, or I would have him here as well. So that's Belle and Helen. Wait a minute, who's this? Are we seeing double? No. Now this one's getting all puffed up and scared. Hi, sweetheart. This is a peregrine falcon as well, just like Helen. This is an Enoch peregrine. She's going to be with us for a while, and she's very nervous. This is kind of her first time on camera. And of course, she's very pretty. And so let's talk a little bit about her story. This little peregrine, again, she came out of the same captive breeding program as Helen, but she's perfectly healthy. Her eyes are perfect, and her feet, as you can see, her toes are all perfect. There isn't a feather out of place. Everything looks really good and healthy. And so we're happy for that she's perfectly healthy. She is 6 years old, where Helen is 3 years old. But this little gal right here, she is 6 years old, which is really kind of a problem to start with. She is 6 years old, and she is, oh yeah, there's my pretty girl. Yeah, you feel you're threatening, aren't you? She says, I'm going to threaten because I don't know what you're doing. How sweet girl. But anyway, she's 6 years old. She's virtually untouched. She's like a 6-year-old wild falcon. And I know, Belle, I'm not talking to you, and I'm sorry. I'll talk to you a little later. I promise. And so we're going to go through the entire process with her on the way that we gentle them down, get them to feed from us, introduce them to a hood, start to get them flying, get them exercise, because here's this beautiful little bird and she has never flown. At least the last 5 years she has never flown, and maybe even her entire life has never flown free. I don't know. And so we're going to get her flying free. We're going to get her handled well so that she's comfortable in captivity, and see if she's a candidate to go back to the wild. And if she's not a candidate to go back to the wild, maybe she's a candidate for education. But the thing I will promise all of you is that she will have a great life, and hopefully, 6 years alone in a chamber. We've got some mental issues that we will have to deal with her, but she seems to be okay. And so we'll just take it one day at a time and give her a chance to be a Peregrine Falcon again. And while we've got her here, I just want you guys to see those beautiful black eyes? Falcon. Hawks can have brown eyes, blue eyes, red eyes, orange eyes, yellow eyes. Falcons have black eyes. The stripe below her eye, all falcons have that. And long skinny wings that go to a point. She's got very nice feet. The long skinny toes for catching other birds in flight. And so she's perfectly good as far as health-wise. She wasn't abused or damaged that way. But it's kind of like, taking someone that's lived their entire life in the confines of a house and have never been outside, and then trying to get them exercised up enough that they could run a marathon. And so that's our marathon. This is our little girl. We're going to get her back to the wild. Possibly, we'll at least try to get her flying free and being a Peregrine Falcon, and go from there. So anyway, that's our little new adventure. We don't have a name for her yet. We have to come up with one. And so I know I'm going to stand up, okay, sweetie? I know. Oh, it's okay. Yes, I know you're just a little bit nervous, but that's okay. We'll get you gentled down and get you to know I'm a nice guy and I give lots and lots of food. I know. Have I been ignoring my bell? Hi, pretty girl. I've been ignoring my sweet bell. I said, now that you're going to talk to me, I'm going to turn my back on you, but I'll waggle my tail anyway. Yes, you're such a sweet girl. And with Belle, we started with Belle. We got her out of a captive breed in Louisiana, and we have her documented from literally driving up to Salt Lake City to the airport to pick her up, to the processes we use to get her handled well for falconry. And she's just a dear, dear friend. Yes, you are. You're my dear friend. And so there we go, guys. Brand new member of the family, at least for now. Hi, pretty girl. Yes, I know. I know. Okay, well, we're going to start the process of what's called manning, or gentling her down, getting her used to hanging around with me. And there's a couple of points that we always try to make. Well, first of all, like I said, she hasn't been touched by humans in 5 years, so she's a little bit spooky that way, maybe as much as 6. She's not been allowed to fly. And what we're going to do is we're going to approach her, we're going to get her up on the glove, and one of the things that I always bring is a little bit of food, so I've got a mouse with me as well, but I don't approach her from above. because that's very intimidating. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm kind of come in a little bit on the low side here. And I don't know how well you can see me. Hi, baby. Yes, you're going to be threatening because you're afraid of me, and that's okay. I know. In fact, let me move this back a little bit so you guys can see, get a little wider view of what I'm trying to accomplish here. There we go. Hi, sweetie. And so I'm going to just come nice and slow and nice and gentle and just kind of talk to her in a really calm voice, because she doesn't know what's going on. She's just been in a chamber her whole life. Yes, you have. You've been in a chamber your whole life, sweetie. And instead of just, like I said, I'm not going to come in high. I'm not going to tower over the top of her because that's very intimidating for her. So I'm going to come in just a little bit on the low side. I've got a mouse. So if she decides that she wants to eat something, I've got that for her. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Yeah, you gonna bite at things? Okay. There's my girl. There's my pretty girl. Yes, you are. You're such a pretty girl. Let's get this right. And so we just try to keep the movements kind of slow and gentle, and we talk to her nice and calmly, and we get her disconnected from the perch. Hi. And then we'll quietly get her up. Now you can see she's slightly above my head level. There we go. It's okay, sweetie. There we go. There's my pretty girl. And so, yeah, you can bite at it. Yes, you can. You can bite at it. Now we've had her with us now for just a day. Get down here where everybody can see us. We've had her for a day, and I've actually spent probably a total of 3 hours now with her on the glove. And so this is not the first time we picked her up, but I wanted to kind of show you, when you're dealing with very much a wild falcon, you just take your time, you talk to them gently. I know, sweetie. There's my girl. And, we got her Jessie's on. She's clipped my glove. So if we're in a situation, she doesn't bust loose from me, she can't get away. I have Helen and Belle are down here right as well, and so I don't want her to accidentally slip away and end up getting in a fight with the other two. So they do need to be very, very careful. And so even when you're outside, boy, rule number 1: clip them to your glove. Make sure you do that, because you can see they can bait or jump very, very quickly, and if you lose your grip, there's my girl. There's my pretty girl. Yes, you are. Okay, yeah, you can bite the mouse. You can bite the mouse. But as you see, we have a long ways to go. This is a little bit different. This is a 6-year-old bird, and so she has not been handled for that 6 years. So she's very wild, and we're going to be dealing with a lot of different kinds of emotional and mental issues with her, much more so than what you would find with a wild one. We know and have been working with wild falcons, freshly trapped, and we've been doing this for more than 4,000 years, so we've got that pretty well down as to the step-by-step techniques for doing that. And of course, we've been captive breeding them for many, many years now, and so raising and working with one that's been raised in captivity, we've got that pretty well down. But when you get a bird that you really don't know its history, you don't know, how it's been handled, you don't know what bad habits the falconer had or what bad habits the bird has developed, over the last 6 years. And so there's going to be a lot of little surprises for us in working with her, getting her up and ready to go, getting her flying free and being a peregrine. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. Now, I bring my hand up here, as you can see, and she will bite me. Yes, she will. She will bite me, but I don't care. I just basically try to get her used to my hands. This is part of the manning process. Get her used to my hands, get her used to the fingers moving, touching her toes very, very gently. And so this is what we spent the last 3 hours, or not the last 3 hours, yesterday evening, just getting her to understand that my hand's not a bad thing. And like I said, I have food for her, so if she wants to eat, she can. And yeah, we touched your breast. Didn't we, pretty girl? We did, we touched your breast. And then the next step, we start this literally immediately, I've started this already, is we will start introducing her to her hood. It's okay, sweetie. Tip, 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 tip. And so this is our hood for her. And this is not a new one for her. We'll make her a new one. This is just an old one. And the reason for the old hood that I like to use at this stage of the game is because what we're going to do is we're going to start acclimating her to the hood, which means we just touch her very gently so that she knows that the hood isn't a terrible, evil thing. And so we'll just very, very gently touch her with the hood, and we'll get it to the point where we can, and we'll get just touch her feet, touch her breasts, touch her beak, to the point where the hood is not a scary thing for her, and hopefully within the next hour or so, she will be. I will be able to very gently slide this over her head, and then take it back off and slide it. And we'll be doing that for the next really several hours, so we can get her acclimated to stuff. I know. You don't understand this world, do you? So anyway, that's basically, it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of time. We're going to handle her a bunch, get her acclimated to us, and I've got to get my other birds put outside to their outside chambers, but we'll leave her right here for just a few minutes, and then we're going to come back, and she and I are going to spend another hour or two together. Okay, there we go. I know, it's such a scary thing. It is, it's such a scary, scary thing. That's my girl. So anyway, this is a great way to kind of show you the very, very, very beginnings. If this was a wild trap falcon, we'd be doing the exact same thing. Like I said, the big difference is we don't know where her head's at. We don't know her emotional state. And so we're going to have to adapt the processes for her because, like I said, she's been in captivity her whole life. And so that we just don't understand what it means yet, and the things that you can accept and the things you can't accept. But we will adapt our training process to match her needs. Huh, pretty girl? Such a pretty girl. So we're done playing for a minute. I'll come back in a little bit, okay? We get your roommates all put out. Okay, we'll talk to you guys soon. sorry, sweetie. Moving that pillow was a little bit too much, huh? Okay. There we go. Well, we're back. And we're up in the living room. We have our new little friend with us. And of course, something for her to eat if she wants it. She says, "I'll bite at it." Yes, my girl. Can I put it between my fingers so I can hold it for you? There we go. There's your food. And it's quiet here at the house. Susan and Cody have gone to work, and so it's just her and I. Are you going to eat from me, sweetie? Are you? Are you going to eat? And so this is one of the most important parts of working with these animals. It's also one of the most fun and pleasurable things that you can possibly do in your entire life. And that is to just basically have a nice quiet room with no distractions, and to sit with your new friend in the hopes that that you guys can start to bond a little bit. That's my baby. And so that's exactly what we do. And this process is called manning. Nothing is forced. She basically has the opportunity to just relax, and her world is completely changed. She's been used to being in basically a small room, about a 10-foot by 10-foot chamber, where she could look out the barred windows, but that's about all of her contact with the outside world has been. and so, she has a lot to learn and a lot to figure out, and that's exactly what we need to give her the time to do, is to let her figure out what this whole world is all about. And it's a pretty spooky place for her. And so we will just kind of sit here quietly. The TV's out across the room, and we can turn the television on if I get tired of just sitting here holding the pretty little girl. Now you can see I move her really close to my face, and I do that for a reason, because I want her to know that I'm comfortable with her, and that helps to keep her comfortable as well. There you go. Hi. So this is kind of what the whole process of manning's all about. It's a wonderful time to spend with a new animal, and kind of let them figure you out and you figure them out. And she says, "I just don't know what this place is." It's just lots of strange objects. I mean, we've got, like I said, we've got cabinets, and we've got couches and chairs, and we do have a window that's over here that she may want to get to the window, but she'll just have to get used to the idea of sitting here and quietly. Hi, sweetie. I know. And see, this should have been done with her, and it may have, I don't know. This should have been done with her 6 years ago, when she was just a youngster right out of the breeding project. But even if it was done 6 years ago, I know for the last 5 years, she's had, very, very little human contact, and no opportunities to fly. Hi, baby girl. It's okay. Oh, you can bite me. I know. And I've got an old hood, and like I said, the reason I will get an old, well-used hood is because she will grab it, she'll bite it if she foots it. She might, tear something off of it, because she doesn't understand what it is. And so, better that she destroys an old hood than a new one. And I've got her a brand new one, but this is just her old one. And so we'll just kind of relax and take it easy and let her try to figure out life. I know that several of you would say, well, why don't you just go, turn her loose? And the truth of the matter is she wouldn't survive. Like I said, she's been in captivity her whole life. I don't know that she's ever hunted anything or killed anything. I know for the last 5 years she certainly has not. Falcons require a great deal more fitness than hawks or eagles or owls because of the way they fly. And so we have to, get her at a much higher degree of fitness, and that's going to take quite a bit of time. But if things go well with her, she should be flying really, really well and quite strong by the time we get into September, which is the beginning of the falconry season. And so we will hopefully be allowed to turn her loose and let her fly up 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet in the sky, and have the strength and agility to dive vertically at 200 miles an hour and to catch pigeons. So she'll basically turn her back into a peregrine falcon, which is what she needs to be. Yeah, I know. You're stressed, you poor little thing. So stressed. Here, there's some food right there. There is. There's food there. That's my girl. Yeah. Took a bite anyway. What a good girl. Oh, when you do this, guys, make sure you wear old clothes, because she's going to throw, bits and pieces of dead mouse all over me. And this is why I've got a towel down here, so that not only for her, when she poops on the floor, we've got the towel down to catch that, but also she will. Yes, there you go. And so this is kind of a messy process. I prefer to use mice is in this process for the simple fact that there's not a lot of feathers, because when there's a whole lot of feather, see, what did I tell you? Oh, what? You're being silly. You took a piece from my finger, but then you threw it at me. Okay. She's being very sweet. She's not biting me hard. Now she's obviously has not been used to eating mice. Shall I get you a quail and see if that does better for you? Because you don't know what mice is, that tastes funny. Like I said, we have to adapt. And so even though I much prefer using mice, and mice is a very, very good food for them, yeah, you're hungry. Let me see what I can do, okay? See if I can get you a quail. One of the things I'm going to do right now, I do have her perch here in the living room. And then let's see if she'll be okay on the indoor perch here in the living room for her. And I'll get you. Yeah, I know. Like I said, wear old clothes, because you're going to get pieces of stuff all over you, especially if she's not used to the diet. But we'll get her used to it if she gets a little hungrier. Okay, sweetie. We're going to put you on the living room perch, okay? And the perch we have here in the living room, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It sits over here. And that's called a pole perch, right there in the corner. And basically it's a block perch on a high stand. And the reason for the high stand is it makes her feel safe. Can you go sit on that? Okay, baby. So I don't know what that is. I know. You're not sure about what that is. It's okay. It won't hurt you. I promise. Okay. There we go. Okay. It's okay. There you go. There's my girl. So that's the first time on that perch. Again, this is all absolutely brand new to her. She doesn't understand what all of this stuff is. And I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to prepare a quail and see if I can get her to eat that. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. I've got some breast meat ready for her. Are you okay? And again, the advantage to this kind of a pole perch is she's up high enough that when I approach her, I'm not hovering over her. And so that's really good, especially indoors. You know, when they're outside on the perches in the weathering yards, the perches are much, much lower. And so I get down much lower when I approach them. But, hi, baby girl. It's okay. I know, this is such a scary experience. I don't know if you can see how, you know, she's being very defensive and she's trying to be a little threatening because she just doesn't understand. But she came up on the glove just fine. All right. Okay, I know. There's my pretty girl. Okay. So anyway, you know, we're just going to continue to do this kind of a thing. And we'll turn this back around to my chair. There we go. So you can see her nicely. And again, time to get comfortable with her. Okay, I'm going to put the pillow behind my head. There we go. What a good girl. What a good girl. Now what I did is I cut the breast meat off. Here, that's just breast meat. I did this because I didn't want her to have to pluck feathers everywhere. You silly thing. As I said, it's just wear old clothes. Put something down to keep the mess off the carpets. That should be pretty familiar to you. And you're just going to throw it all over me, aren't you, sweetie? It's peace. Yeah. And part of the issue is going to be that she's not super hungry. Like I said, she's been in captivity and just basically had food thrown to her for the last 5 years. And so it might take her a day or two before she's hungry enough to really want to feed well. But from day one, we do want to have food available to them. Hi. Hi, pretty girl. And so our number one accomplishment today is to be able to get this hood slid over her head. and it'll only stay there for a few seconds, and then we pull it back off. We're not going to tighten it down, not for the first few days. There's my pretty girl. And there's things we can do to force the issue, and I would rather not force anything. You just need to be gentle with them. And so you just wait until she's comfortable again. What a pretty girl. And the whole purpose for the hood is this is their stress protection. Basically, when we're transporting them in the vehicles, or if we're out in the field and a bunch of motorcycles and ATV go racing by, or the helicopter school decides to do a low pass over the field that we're in, anything, there's a lot of things that can absolutely terrify her. And so having the ability to slide a hood over their head and kind of blindfold them basically removes that stress, so they end up comfortable and not panicked until whatever threat that's coming by has passed. And so the hood really protects them. It just saves their life, because they're able to sit quietly, wait till the threat passes. Hey, baby girl. Hey, pretty girl. And saves the potential of a lost bird or an injured bird or any of those kinds of things. So it's their stress protection. It really does protect them. So if we can get to the point of getting that hood to slide on her comfortably, yes, we will. Yes. Oh yes, what a pretty girl. What a pretty girl. Yeah, I got food there for you if you want some. Yeah, that's my lady. I know. I know. Such a pretty girl. That's a girl. We'll let her settle for a minute. And so I'm sure for all of you guys, this is really boring, and we'll probably need to cut the video short here. But I just wanted to get you an idea of how we start, and then hopefully within the next couple of hours, she'll settle in, she'll eat, because she hasn't, other than just kind of bit at food, she really hasn't eaten since I brought her home. Like I said, completely unique experience, and I've had birds, go 3 days before they would eat anything, just because of the stress and the fear that they have. But she's looking at the food, she's bending down, and a lot of it has to do with how hungry they are. And the lower the stress, the more they're used to things, and the hungrier they get, the more likely they are to feed. And when I talk about 2 or 3 hours of work, it depends on the animal. If the animal is highly stressed, you may want to do that 2 or 3 hours of work in 10-minute, 15-minute sessions until the bird is able to take more, because this is very, very stressful. It is. You poor thing. You never got to play, huh? You never got to be a peregrine. We're going to change that. We are going to change that for you, sweetie. And I could feel her right here, And you should be able to feel the keel bone and just feel a little bit of the keel bone sticking out. Right now, I can't feel the keel bone at all. So she's quite heavy and way beyond hungry. Oh, won't you bite me? You don't need to bite me. You don't. You don't, pretty girl. You don't need to bite me. I'm going to be your friend. I am. I'm going to be your friend, sweetie. Yes, I am. I'm going to be your friend. There's my pretty girl. There we are. Isn't that nice? See, we've got the hood right up at her head, and she's taking that very, very, very well. And so I think today she'll start accepting the hood. Yes, you will. You'll start accepting it. Oh, look at that. What a good girl. What a good girl. And that's exactly what we want to do. And something that's really important and something that with her, it's a little hard. There we go. A lot of falconers put off hood training until they've had the bird for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or whatever. And that's a really bad thing, because what that does is she's very nervous. She's afraid of me. She's afraid of the house. She's afraid of everything. And so right now, we are just starting to gain her confidence and let her know that the world is okay. And you're going to be just fine. And in the process of doing that, we want to do that with the hood at the same time. So basically, if you man them down and don't use the hood, what happens is when you introduce the hood, they're more comfortable with you, but when you introduce the hood, then they have a real reason to fight it, and it becomes harder. And so if you introduce the hood in the beginning, then you have a much, much better chance of them. Oh, look at that. Almost got your beak in. I did. I almost got your beak in. Did you get your beak in? Oh, very good, sweetie. Very, very good. Yeah, there's your food. There's your food. Sure. So yes, the whole hooding process just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, and we just get it up to her head, and we can touch her on her wing, so you can see that there's nothing dangerous about it, nothing bad. Oh yeah, there's my pretty girl. And we talk to them, and look at that, her whole beak went inside the hood. Oh, what a good girl. You're gonna hood nicely. Yes, you are. You're gonna hood very nice. Yes, you are. And so this is how we do it. Like I said, nothing's ever forced. We just, there we go. Oh, okay. We got it almost completely on that time. We did. We got the hood almost completely on. What a pretty girl. What a pretty girl. Yeah, you're going to be a good little lady. So we're going to get her, we'll give you another minute or two to relax. And again, we never force anything. You know, I can't overemphasize that enough. Everything is done with kindness and gentleness. And the less they fear you, the better you guys will work as a partnership. So this is very, very much like taking a completely wild peregrine falcon, and not even a young one from the wild, but a completely wild peregrine falcon, what we call a haggard, which is a full adult, and having to calmly and gently go through the process. So I hope that kind of helps you understand how this process works with her, and it, not only with her, with all falconry birds, all the different kinds of hawks and falcons and eagles. The gentler you are, and the more patience you have, and the more time that you put into them, the better the bird will accept falconry and actually look forward to your partnership. Yes, you're just going to throw food all over me, aren't you? You silly thing. Well, we're just gonna call it a day for this particular part of the video, and we're gonna try to film as much of this as possible, so you can kind of understand how this works, literally from the very, very beginning, with a brand new bird, all the way through to the bird flying free and hunting. So again, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you later. You gonna say goodbye, sweetie? Well, yeah. You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know.